The Next Generation's greatest foe have returned in this here episode of Star Trek Picard, episode 9, VOX. Now, did this episode assimilate me, or didn't it? Let's talk about it. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome to my Picard review series, episode 9, VOX. So let's talk about this episode. But before I begin, I just want to say that tomorrow night, Friday night, 7:30 GMT UK time, I am doing a live stream on my channel. Well, it is on my channel, but hosted on another channel, but you can watch it on my channel. Talking about the current state of Star Trek and Star Wars. It's called Trek Wars. Keep an eye out for that. So hit the subscribe button, come join the channel, and come and join in the fun there for that discussion. Now, this episode here, obviously we catch up where we left off at the end of the last episode. We've been teased for a few episodes as to exactly what is going on with Jack. What is it with him in his mind going on? What's this red door? What is behind this red door? So him and Deanna Troi, they go on a little journey to try and find out. Deanna opens the door and she sees what's behind it before Jack ever knows. And in good old-fashioned TV cliche standards, she does a runner without the viewer even knowing what's behind that door. She runs off to Picard and Beverly Crusher to tell them that it's the Borg. Yes, the Borg are back. Starfleet's greatest nemesis have returned. At which point I rolled my eyes. I will be honest, at that point I went, oh God, here we go again, the Borg. We can't get away without having the Borg, right? So that was my initial reaction. But I'll move on from that. I'll come back to that in a minute. We come to find out that what's actually been happening is that Picard's neurotic syndrome is nothing of the sort. When he was actually Locutus of Borg, the Borg left a biological implant in him. A biological implant that has been utilised, that this is what the changelings wanted. This is what they wanted to get, because they've been working with the Borg, and this has been fed into the data streams, into the transporter streams, so that everyone who transports gets this sort of DNA upgrade, essentially. So the Borg for years have actually been assimilating Starfleet all this time. Anyone that has stepped into the transporter has unwillingly, unknowingly to anyone been given this change, this implant, this biological change, and this enables the Borg to assimilate anyone under the age of 25. Fantastic. So obviously we've got the goings on at Starfleet, where it's like Foundation Day or whatever they call it, and all the Starfleet ships are massed together, and this is what's going to happen. They're going to come through, but it's not an attack, it's an attack from within. But they could have done that at any time, let's be honest. They could have done it. All the ships didn't have to be grouped together to make this happen. Right, they could have done it if the ships all spread out, but they're all grouped together. They all sort of get taken over. We get Shelby. Shelby returns. Now Admiral Shelby. She's sort of leading proceedings at this. Now Shelby, the character who might remember Commander Shelby, she took control of the Enterprise in the best of both worlds. So it's really nice to see her again. The daughter of Brian Dennehy, the actor. I think her name is Elizabeth Dennehy. I believe it is. Anyway, she's back. Or is it Elizabeth Shelby? Anyway, she's back, regardless. She's back, and it's fantastic to see her again. She was fantastic in Star Trek The Best of Both Worlds, and it would have been great to have seen more of her. But we see her here again, so big thumbs up for that. Obviously, this episode has a lot of callbacks to Star Trek, The Next Generation, Star Trek of old. It's like that episode that came 2 weeks ago where we had all them callbacks. It's very similar to that. We do get to see the new Enterprise, fit, the Enterprise, what one is it? The E, the F? I don't know. F. It's Enterprise F. What am I saying? Yes. I don't particularly like the design of it. I'll be honest. It's not as nice as other designs of the Enterprise, but it's nice to see that Enterprise on screen. Obviously, Jack heads off. He escapes because they want to stop him. And he goes to the Borg. He goes to the... And we see the Borg Queen. We see the back of the Borg Queen in silhouette. We don't see no more of this. Although this opens questions to the end of Star Trek Season 2. Because obviously, if you remember, the Borg played a big part of that. So why hasn't this come into question? Why is that... If that's an offshoot of the Borg, what happened at the end of Season 2, why aren't they going to get their help? Or will that come? It's very possible that will come. We have to remain to see what happened there with that. Just questions that were in my mind as the episode went on. But, you know, obviously we get to see all the ships get taken over by the Borg because they're all connected, Wi-Fi connected, aren't they? So the crew of the Titan, the remaining crew of the Titan, because we lose Captain Shaw, which is such a shame, and it's such an emotional ending for him, because this character, love him or hate him, we all came to love him. He was fantastic. He was a fantastic character, hands down. Even if I weren't a fan of the writing of him, the back and forth of his you know, how he went in the writing terms, he was a fantastic character, and it was sad to see him die. Obviously, we lose 7 of 9 and Raffi. They're on board the Titan still. They're stuck aboard that. So this leaves us with just the Next Generation crew grouped together. So it's a nice bit of writing, I suppose, but a bit sort of forced in that we've got to have the original Next Generation crew together without them. So let's find a way to get rid of them. And then Geordie takes them off to his museum, where he has sort of rebuilt the Enterprise D. Yes, we come to find out that the Enterprise D saucer section was taken off of Viridian 4, which makes sense. You wouldn't want to leave it there. And he has essentially rebuilt the Enterprise D using parts from other vessels of the same constitution, the same class, same constitution, you know what I mean. The same class of vessel, Galaxy class. And yeah, it's a nice, and they go on board, and it's brightly lit, unlike Star Trek is now. So Star Trek, you know, the Enterprise is all lit up inside, and it does feel smaller. It does look smaller in my mind. But it's great to see. It's great to see this crew again on board that vessel, on board that bridge, the Enterprise D that they were on for so long. You know, 7 seasons and a movie. It's a great callback. Having them all in their positions where they would sit originally and all this sort of a thing. You know, what can you ask for? It's just nostalgia driven home. It's nostalgia beat into you, and it's fantastic. I'll take a bruising for that nostalgia. I don't care. Yeah, just really, really good stuff. I mean, like I said, my eyes rolled a bit when I realised, hold on a minute, you're doing the Borg again. But hats off to them for the storytelling, for the writing, for this new spin on the Borg, the fact that they've infiltrated and they have essentially assimilated a lot of people through different means. It shows a sort of a growth to them. It shows, you know, them moving on from what they are and becoming a new threat, a new way of a threat. That was fantastic, and I really, seriously, I was blown away by that writing. This series has been thought about. This series has been written really well, and it's just fantastic. You know, what more can I say? Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. 1 episode left, and I will be back next week with my review for the finale. Are we going to see anyone pass by? Are we going to see anyone? We're going to lose anyone? Any main characters? I think it would be brave if we did, I'll be honest. But if we did lose anyone, I'm not going to ask you whether you think we're going to lose anyone, but if we did lose someone, who would you not like to see? Who do you think would be the character to get a fitting end, a finale, a final, no comeback, other than Picard himself? Who else? Let me know in the comments down below. So this is AJ, a wonderful episode. I really enjoyed it. But remember, live stream tomorrow night on my channel, 7:30 Greenwich Mean Time, UK time, talking about the current state of Star Trek and Star Wars, Trek Wars. join me. And I'll see you then. Take care all, and make it so.